the setup and the revenge narrative. Welcome back to the channel, Cricket Family. If you missed the absolute thriller at St. George's Park today, you missed one of the greatest redemption arcs we have seen in the SA20 so far. We are talking about Match 7, the big showdown between the Sunrisers Eastern Cape and the Paarl Royals. And folks, the context here could not have been spicier if it tried. Remember just a few days ago? These two teams met, and it was total carnage, humiliation of the highest order, with the Royals being bundled out for a measly 49 runs and losing by 137 runs. It was the kind of loss that breaks a team's spirit. So, coming into Kebra today, the Sunrisers were sitting pretty at the top of the table, looking like the unstoppable juggernauts of the tournament, while the Royals were desperate, their backs firmly against the wall, needing to prove they weren't just making up the numbers. The atmosphere at St. George's Park was electric, the band was playing, the crowd was buzzing, and everyone was asking the same question. Could David Miller's men stand up to the bullies, or were we about to see another demolition job? What followed was a script you couldn't write better yourself. A game of tension, collapse, young heroes, and a captain's knock for the ages. The Sunrisers' innings, young Mokoena's magic. It started with the Sunrisers Eastern Cape winning the toss and opting to bat first, a decision that usually spells trouble at this venue if you don't assess the conditions early. The Sunrisers have been flying high with their batting lineup, but today, the Paarl Royals had a secret weapon, a 19-year-old sensation named Nqobani Mokoena. This kid was absolutely phenomenal. We talk about the veterans, but Mokoena came in and just ripped the heart out of the Sunrisers' plans. He wasn't just bowling, he was asking questions with every delivery. While Jordan Herman played a lone hand of resistance for the Eastern Cape, batting beautifully for his 47 off 35 balls and looking like the only guy who really came to terms with the surface, the rest of the lineup just couldn't get away. We saw big names like Quinton de Kock and Tristan Stubbs struggle to find that explosive rhythm they are known for. Mokoena finished with incredible figures of 4 for 34, striking at the top and then coming back to clean up the tail. It was a disciplined, gritty bowling performance from the Royals that restricted a dangerous Sunrisers team to just 149 all out in their 20 overs. Now, 149 is one of those tricky totals. It's not enough to feel safe, but it's just enough to make the chasing team nervous, especially a team carrying the mental scars of being bowled out for 49 in their last game. The Royal collapse, ghosts of the past. And oh boy, did those nerves show up. When the Paarl Royals came out to chase 150, it looked like we were watching a horror movie sequel. The ghosts of that 49 all-out disaster seemed to be haunting them in the power play. The Sunrisers bowlers, smelling blood, came charging in. Marco Jansen and Anrich Norch were breathing fire, and the Royals' top order just melted away. Asa Tribe? Gone for 7. Luandre Pretorius? Back in the hut for 11. Even the informed Kyle Verin couldn't stick around. Before we could even settle into the chase, the scorecard read 35 for 4 in the 7th over. You could hear a pin drop in the Royals' dugout. It was catastrophic. The required rate was climbing, the morale was tanking, and social media was already writing their obituaries. It looked like the Sunrisers were going to roll them over again. At that specific moment, 150 looked like 250. The ball was nipping around, the fielders were chirping, and the pressure was suffocating. They needed a miracle, or at the very least, they needed someone with ice in their veins to stop the bleeding. Enter the captain, the Miller and Lion-Cachet partnership. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. David Miller, Killer Miller, walked out to the center with his team in ruins, and what followed was a masterclass in T20 batting. But he wasn't alone. He was joined by young Keegan Lion-Cachet, and this partnership is what changed the entire complexion of the game. It wasn't about swinging for the fences immediately, it was about absorption. Miller showed why he is one of the most experienced finishers in world cricket. He didn't panic. He absorbed the pressure, respected the good balls from Norch and Jansen, and just kept the scoreboard ticking over. Lion-Cachet, on the other end, played the perfect supporting role. He wasn't fluent early on. He struggled for timing, but he showed so much character to just hang in there and not throw his wicket away. They stitched together a massive 114-run partnership for the 5th wicket. It was the calm before the storm. Slowly but surely, Miller started to shift gears. You could see the confidence returning, the shoulders relaxing, and suddenly, the bad balls were being punished. The required rate was still hovering around 10 and over, but with Miller at the crease, you always felt they had a chance. The explosion, Miller time and the finish. Then came the explosion we were all waiting for, Miller time. As the game went deep into the death overs, David Miller decided enough was enough. He unleashed that trademark bat swing, targeting the leg side and launching the ball into the stands. He smashed 5 massive sixes and 4 boundaries, racing to an unbeaten 71 off just 38 balls. It was imperious. It was destructive. It was pure class. He completely dismantled the Sunrisers' attack that had looked so threatening just an hour earlier. The turning point was how he targeted the spin and the seamers alike, just clearing his front leg and depositing the ball into the crowd. Lion-Cachet eventually fell for a well-made 45 in the final over, but by then, the damage was done. The equation came down to just 1 run needed, and in a slightly anticlimactic but hilarious end, Lewis Gregory bowled a wide to the new man, Delano Pochiter, to hand the Royals the win. But make no mistake, this was Miller's victory. He dragged his team from the depths of despair at 35 for 4 to a comfortable 5-wicket win with 2 balls to spare. Summary and conclusion. So, what does this result mean? It means the Paarl Royals have finally opened their account in the SA 2020-25-26 season, and they've done it in style against the table toppers. They have exorcised the demons of that 49-run all-out and proven they have the grit to fight back from impossible situations. For the Sunrisers' Eastern Cape, it's a wake-up call that they aren't invincible, and that letting the foot off the gas when you have a team at 35 for 4 can be fatal when David Miller is still in the shed. The man of the match has to be Miller for that captain's knock, but let's not forget young Mokoena's 4 wickets that set the whole thing up. This tournament just got a whole lot more interesting. The Royals are on the board, the Sunrisers have been humbled, and we are set for an incredible rest of the season. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more daily cricket updates, and let me know in the comments. Is this the best innings David Miller has ever played in the SA 20? I'll catch you guys in the next video.